my first show, and some people think I'm nuts, picking the Arnold as my comeback show. What better way to figure out where you belong than going against the best? You got the training for it, and man, I bust my ass. If you follow any of the training, getting ready for it, the feeling of failure and shame, so ultimately it's on my head to let that happen. My relationship with you guys should be a give and take also, not me just taking the energy, from the motivational well wishes you guys send to me, but I want to send you guys some energy and you guys some motivation. There you go.
Hey Johnny, you got a second to catch up after the Arnold?
What's going on, man? Should have known you were lurking around here somewhere, Nick. Sure, man. Yeah, just getting in a little bit more practice, before I get out and to the gym and do a workout and all that stuff. Kind of, thinking about and recapping on how the other weekend went. Of course, I'm talking about the Arnold and stuff like this, and there's just been a bunch of emotions. I can hardly talk about it as I'm stuttering talking about it. Just a bunch of emotions with it all, because for one, it's exciting, to have got invited and to be there at the Arnold and all that stuff. Definitely relaxed. I don't know about relaxed. Just going over in your head, with your name called. It's time to think about my mandatory poses. So get out on stage and you go over and over in your head, routine, 60-second routine, and standing off to the side and how you're going to stand, and, stay tight the whole time. Because you're always getting watched. It's rest time, but it's time to go over in your head too. Practice what you got to do. Practice make perfect. Then you got the training for it, and man, I bust my ass. If you followed any of the training, getting ready for, the Arnold, myself getting ready for the Arnold, I really, tried to put it together and gave it my all for sure. And then you have the results of it, getting there, or before the results, getting there, and getting ready to perform and stuff like this. And I have to, think right there at this spot, to chime in, because that's one of the sticking points for me is being at the show, getting ready to perform, and you think to yourself, I look better as I was getting ready than I do right now before I'm getting ready to get on stage, and there's no worse feeling than that, because there's nothing you possibly can do to change things at that moment, and honestly, I hate it. Been there, done that before, of course, over my 18, 19 year career as a bodybuilder, but this was earlier on in my career where those mistakes happened, and I knew that the timing would be somewhat off, and my last couple of years, I did my own the nutrition, my own training, and everything like this. So I got used to that, and then going into this Arnold, I had took a 2.5 year break, and going into it, I just want to be confident and wanted a second opinion and stuff like this. But it goes to show you how you should go with your first mind and go with what and don't second guess yourself, because that kind of stuff will happen. The timing was off. That's all that was, at the Arnold. And like I said, I knew it would be somewhat off, especially working with someone else, at this point, and him not knowing my body as well as I know my body the last couple of years, and then taking 2.5 years off from that, and then got to get it back together again. But ultimately, I don't want chose to go that route, so ultimately it's on my head to let that happen. But it was just a little bit too many carbs, and not enough, didn't drain enough. It wasn't dry enough before I started implementing, as many carbs as I did. and you only got a certain window where all that hit just right, and then you either get to the show and either you're under done and you feel, you take off your stuff and your veins are really small and thin like because you're underate, or you take off your stuff and you've overeaten somewhat and you're watery, and so I was on that spectrum of eating too much, timing was off, was watery. So like I said, a big spectrum of feelings of one thing is accomplishment of being there at the Arnold, getting invited, making it there, training my butt off, but then the feeling of failure and shame of almost amorish type mistake of the timing's off, carving up too much, and not drying out enough. But it is what it is. The Arnold's over now. The coronavirus got everything pretty sewed up and canceled and shit like this. So hopefully here at the latter part of the year, everything open up again. I'm focusing on Chicago Pro. So July 3rd and 4th. So hopefully by then everything's shaking loose. I'm going to maintain shape. That give me, I think, around 13, 14 weeks to head into the Chicago Pro. So I literally went from, sitting on a couch, as if you would, to training for the Arnold. And doing this just give me a chance to now build up a little bit more muscle, fill myself out a little bit, feel a little bit more comfortable before, turning over into the dieting phase and pre-show phase and stuff like that. So make sure you guys stay tuned and stuff like that, because of course it definitely isn't over. We're just getting started. The Arnold was my first show, and some people think I'm nuts, picking the Arnold as my comeback show, because like I said, it's invitation only, and the guys that are getting invited are definitely the best guys that are going on to date on stage, and I always thought, what better way to figure out where you belong than going against the best. If you go against the guys less than you or, on the same level, then how can you figure out where you belong or where you should be, in the big spectrum of, trying to become Mr. Olympia. Hey, the coronavirus, we got to clean everything. You know what I mean? It's just like people that been fans and followed me for a long time know that my pro debut was the GNC Show of Strength, and that was like a few weeks after the Mr. Olympia, and so it was the Mr. Olympia lineup and me. So I'm like, oh my God, I felt like I was standing in the middle of Flex magazine, going to that show. I'm looking. There's, Dennis James, there's Ronnie Coleman, there's Gunther Scherkamp, there's Lee Priest, and I'm like, holy crap, what did I get myself into? But then again, it's like I said, you throw yourself in that mix of guys and see where you fall and where you belong, and you can definitely you keep yourself in reality and know what you need to fix, what you need to accomplish to become, like one of those guys or even better than those guys. So, like I said, if I can get, do this for the next 5 years, if I can keep this blessing going for the next 5 years and compete and do what I love, and like I said, the mistake of, the timing wasn't down, that won't happen again. I guarantee you that. So there's only one way to find out. Make sure you keep following me. Like I said again, they're at the Arnold, between prejudging and the night show. Thank you guys so much out there. I don't hate to call you guys fans. I think you guys are my friends for sure. Some of you guys I've met, face to face at the Arnold and different shows like this, and we've talked a little bit, and some of you guys shared, some of your history and shared some of your goals and shared some of your goals that you accomplished ever since you met me or seen the stuff that I've done and motivate you to do it. So, in doing that makes it worth doing this, getting up in the morning doing this every day, that alone. Um, like I said, I hate to call you guys fans, and definitely friends, and I appreciate all the well wishers and the well being and the good lucks and the everything that you guys help motivate me because it's definitely not just about me. This is the individual sport. Once you're up on stage, but getting ready for these shows, man. If it weren't for you guys, motivating and sending those, the different messages and my little quotes that I say, starting to repeat and say them back to me and stuff like that. It's just motivating and awesome, and I really appreciate the love, and I'll give the love right back to you. Thank you so much, and appreciate you. And keep following me, man. Don't. I won't let you down. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's just we can fix your water retention. We can fix it with some conditioning problems. Body part wise, we're still in there. So, stay with me and let's crank it down. And I'm going to crank it down. And we're, like I said, about 13, 14 weeks out from the Chicago Pro, July 3rd and 4th. I expect to see all eyes, the same amount of eyes or even more, for me heading down and all the support. And I'll give the love back. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon.